Welcome back to Juice is the New Tea. I am your host, Eleni Simos, also known as the Clean Eating Chick, and I'm very excited for today's guest. We have Keith Lee here. He is the owner and co-founder of Recovery Mode, a space that I love, that I frequent here in Queens, New York City. And Recovery Mode is not just a space where people can go to recover. It's a space rooted in intention, with recovery and alternative healing modalities being at the root of that. So one of my favorite topics, self-care, recovery. Here to talk about it with me, Keith Lee.
Thank you for having me, Eleni.
I'm so excited.
I'm hyped to be here. I love
Me
this.
too. I'm hyped to have you here, man.
Yeah.
Like, I love you. You were, when I first met you and we had a coffee together, I was like, bro, I felt the air sign energy.
Yep.
You're a Gemini. I could talk to you all day. It was just like the vibe, the information, the insight, the intention behind what it is that you do. I respect it so deeply. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
For sure. All right. So we're going to get into it. So you started Recovery Mode how many years ago?
I started the conception of Recovery Mode, the concept of it, during COVID, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. And so during COVID, obviously, you know, health was a big topic then, and staying healthy and not getting infected, right?
Yeah.
And so I think COVID actually was a major component in the propulsion of people being more conscious and intentional with their health. And
Totally.
so felt very aligned with starting Recovery Mode and allowing, having a place where active people can stay active and that people can really be intentional with their well-being.
Yeah.
So
It's so interesting. I feel like so many people that I have conversations with that started their journey in either starting a business, entrepreneurship, whatever it is, happened around 2020, happened around that very formative year for so many people. What I love the most about Recovery Mode is, like we talked about this before, there isn't really much available in Queens or even like in the city of an actual space that offers everything that you guys do. From the alternative healing modalities to the body work, now acupuncture,
Yes.
cold plunging, infrared sauna. Like, you really created such a special place where people can go to learn, to receive, and to recover, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for that. I love that. Why do you think so many people in this day and age are turning to alternative healing?
I think that people are catching up to the fact that the healthcare system is going to fail them.
Yeah.
Right. And so the story happens again and again when I work with a client. They go to their doctor, they go to their primary doctor, who then refers them to another doctor, and they're just playing ping pong with who's actually going to give them the answer of what's going on. And I think I see a lot of people getting misled in the direction, and some people don't even trust in their bodies anymore. It's like, you could go to the doctor today and say, hey, doc, I have knee pain. And you get an MRI, and the MRI comes back normal. And then the doctor's like, it came back normal.
What do you, yeah.
You're good to go.
Fine. Right.
And so people have lost the trust in healthcare providers. And so I found a lane and a gap to fill in that, where we can actually listen and be intentional with your symptoms, more specifically the musculoskeletal symptoms that you may feel pain, and anything that impairs your ability to stay active. And so our goal is really to align with the growing fitness industry and allow people to really take care of themselves and stay active in the gym, not miss gym days, not miss workouts, continue that regimen, continue their training, and optimize their body, really.
Yeah. I'm happy that you brought up the point about people just like losing such faith in Western medicine.
Yeah.
That's how I started my journey of just like taking accountability for my body, my health. I saw my mom go through a cancer diagnosis, and the hamster wheel that she was on with just like not having answers, or just like being led down this hole and that pathway, and none of it kind of really working, and like her obviously struggling with that. You must see that so often with people where like they have a neck pain, they have, like you said, the knee pain, and it's a never ending cycle. And then people, like you said, lose trust in themselves and their body's ability to heal.
Exactly. And a major problem that I see day to day is just they just normalize their symptoms. They normalize their pain.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a bad back.
Yeah.
Oh, my knee is just a wonky knee. It just doesn't work.
Right.
And like you hear that again and again and again.
Yeah.
And that identity of I have a bad back. I'm a person with a bad back.
Exactly.
Right. And they just go through life.
And and on a mental and spiritual energetic level, what that does for that person going through life, I have a bad back, I have this, I have that, I can't do X, Y, Z because of this. Like just the way that the symptoms just begin to rule someone's life is wild to see. And I'm sure you see that. And like, I wanted to talk about this a little bit later on, but just like for health practitioners or people in your field, like how do you, I don't know, I guess protect your energy with dealing with that? Or like, how do you see that so often? Like is it frustrating for you to like hear people, like how do you, I don't know, like navigate those conversations with people, reminding them of like the power to heal is in their hands ultimately, you know?
Absolutely. And I think that when therapists are very intentional with healing, and healing is an energy, right? Healing is a frequency.
Yeah.
And so you have, as a practitioner, you have to have that within yourself. And energy doesn't lie. And so when, myself and my therapists, when myself and my therapists work with clients, you can't fake that energy. We're there to help you.
Yeah.
We have intention to help you. And so if we can show you and at least give you a glimpse of like, wow, I feel 50% better, that leads into the buy-in and the realization that, wow, I can manifest healing within my body. And that's so important because manifestation within spreads to manifestation outside of yourself and allows you to see the alignments with other things and other aspects of your life. So that's why it's so important for me to have people have that realization because other areas of their life get better.
Yes, 100%. Well, I mean, think about it too. Like if you walk into recovery mode and you have like, your shoulders are tense, your neck and all these things, and then you just feel like you said 50% better where you're like, your shoulders can relax. You feel a little bit more calm and at ease. How that then translates into the way that you just show up in the rest of your life. Like it's a game changer, no doubt. So what do you think is one thing or something that people misunderstand about recovery the most?
I think the biggest thing that people get wrong is that they go, oh, it'll just get better on its own. Oh, my back hurts. My shoulder's really, really sore after that high rocks workout.
Not a high rocks workout. God.
I love high rocks, but like, oh, it'll get better.
Yeah.
Let me just rest it for a week. Let me not be intentional. Let me just ignore it, right?
Yeah.
Ignorance, ignorance is bliss. Fine, I get it. And sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes the ignorance does lead to, hey, it feels better, it feels normal. That should not be the status quo for you.
Yeah, but ignoring it then just makes you compromise other parts of your body. Then you're overusing it. Feel like you have a bum knee, then you're using your other leg, and it just creates all this imbalance in the body. So I feel like when should somebody, once they start to feel like a little ping in their body, we're like, oh, that's not normal, or I never felt that before. When should somebody seek like, okay, I got to get this taken care of?
I usually, general rule of thumb is if your pain is lingering over a week or 2 weeks, it's probably not going to get better on its own.
Yeah.
You really need to see a professional or get it assessed at least so that you have a better idea of what's going on within your body and tuning into like, how do I actually feel?
Yeah.
Right. And again, it goes back to not ignoring your symptoms, but then coming within yourself and understanding what's really going on because your body is talking to you in that moment.
Yes.
Right. Pain is a communication thing between you and your nervous system. And so if you can really tap in, be one with yourself, you will heal. That is
speaking my language.
That
Keith.
is the key to healing.
That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
Like, because so many people don't prioritize recovery. They don't prioritize rest. They think it's like, I gotta go, I gotta hustle. We've glamorized hustle culture, right? But I always tell people, because I teach yoga, you have to give yourself the space to slow down, to rest, to receive, because then you allow for your body to speak to you. And that's triggering for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to hear what their body has to tell them. If you're constantly going, you're ignoring the signs of either like an imbalance, a pain, whatever it is. But I think it's like to hear you mimic that same sentiment is just so refreshing. Like I think people really need to give themselves the time and the space to like recover and rest.
Absolutely. And another thing is like pain and feeling things is part of being human.
Yes.
Right?
If you weren't feeling anything, you're not like, you're not human. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you think, so you've been in business, but you've obviously this has been a passion of yours. How have you seen the conversation around self-care evolve over the last few years?
I think it's just every year to year, it's just gotten bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see, and it's amazing to be a part of the growth of self-care being prioritized by people now. And a lot of it is shifting from, self-care is a luxury, and shifting away from that and understanding that self-care is essential.
Yes.
Right? It is essential to take care of yourself. It's one of the healthiest things for you to do is self-care.
Right. Is to prioritize your well-being.
Prioritize your well-being.
That's baseline.
Yeah. And I think people in the past have put it on a pedestal and it's like, oh, I have to pay money to take care of myself. Yes, you do.
It's an investment. Yeah. I always tell people, like people that, especially because when I first got into this world, it was about the food for me. Like it was always like eating organically or not eating this or doing that. And people would always say, well, organic's more money or all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you pick or choose. Do you want to invest in spending a little bit extra for a higher quality meal, or are you going to pay for it in the long term with doctor's bills and medication and all of that? That's like the best way that I feel like I could frame it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So now kind of shifting to, we hear so much about the nervous system and self-care and prioritizing the nervous system. In your work, how have you seen chronic stress show up physically in the body?
Oh, that's huge. That's like one of the biggest components of tension, right?
Yeah.
And like why people are in pain.
Yeah.
It's all mental, psychological, stored up tension that doesn't ever get to be released, right? And just think about, have you ever watched like a video of like someone falling down the stairs or like you tighten up, right? Have you ever been,
you're like, ooh,
you're like, ooh, right?
Yeah,
and so pain and
I laugh. No, I'm sorry.
You go, ooh, and then it's funny.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I hope they're okay.
Right. And so it's like pain and that frequency is holding tension, right? And so you definitely see it a lot. And a lot of times, people internalize a lot of situations. They do not have, or maybe they feel like they don't have the voice, right? Or the inner strength to deal with those inner issues. And then it becomes a physical thing.
Yes.
Right? And so I always say the body keeps score. There's a great book out there called The Body Keeps Score. And
it's a phenomenal read. So
it's exactly that. It's what are you repressing? Are you holding on to? Because that energy turns into tension in our musculoskeletal system.
Totally.
And so I've had sessions where people get a little teary on the table when I'm working on them. People start laughing like crazies, hysterically laughing.
I'll never forget there was, so that was going to be one of my questions and you jumped ahead, but my news feed is riddled with like all of these people having these like emotional releases. Like, I don't know if you saw Leanne Rimes recently posted something where they're like having a full body convulsion after someone cracks her neck. One of the first times, like this was, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, I got a yoga wheel. Do you know a yoga wheel? Like just like one of those circular things and you like roll your back on it. I recorded myself doing this because I thought I was going to like post it on my story and like have a moment. And I could not stop laughing. I like opened up my chest fully. I was like it was clearly there was some type of energetic release there. And I always tell people like whatever is manifesting in the body as something physical started out as something emotional. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer, stage 3 colon cancer, I remember at that age, like I was 23, looking up the spiritual meaning of cancer. And it was someone's inability to like let go and forgive. So that always stayed with me like now 10 plus years later, I'm like, okay, if there's something emotional that's going on in my body or like in, that I need to deal with, I have to, and I start to feel like pain associated with that, I have to look at like, take inventory, like an emotional and spiritual inventory. If I start to feel like my body being off or fatigued or anything along those lines, do you share that with your clients? Like, do you do any type of like consultation before, like, or you just can, because I also think that people that are in your line of work, you guys are energy readers, 100%.
Yeah. No, we exchange energy with clients all the time, and to your question, I allow that to be a natural process.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to force any of that out of you.
Right. But you're just so easy to open up to, though. I just have to say, like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's the energy. Yeah.
So, you have to be accepting of it. You have to be, and it's also, there has to be gratitude embedded in that as well. It's like, yes, you're in pain. Yes, your body's not working to your liking right now, but also be grateful for the fact that you're here, that you walked here, you got here independently, and you can do things for yourself, right? And so like get back to that. And that gratitude is the first step in that healing process. Be grateful for what you have, because there are plenty of people that would die to be able to walk normally, get out of bed independently, go to the bathroom independently, and not use a wheelchair, not use an assisted device, right? And so
gratitude is at the root of everything.
Absolutely.
Because it could always be worse. And even if like you think that it's like you are so much more blessed than you even realize.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that. That was beautiful. What could some of the signs be that someone's nervous system is dysregulated?
Ooh, this is great.
Is that juicy?
That's juicy. From the moment they walk into the clinic, and they're on their phone, like, oh, hold on, I gotta pay for my parking.
Yeah,
I'm in recovery mode right now. Hold on. That's a dysregulated nervous system right there.
Yeah,
oof,
man.
Oof.
Yeah, reel it in.
Let's reel it in.
Reel it in. You're here. You made it. Parking can wait. But although parking, Steinway, they don't around over there.
They don't. Yeah. If you're gonna come to Recovery Mode in Astoria, please give yourself like 10 to 15 minutes extra. But with that, like 12 o'clock client shows up at 12:01, doing the waiver.
Yeah. Stressed out immediately.
Stressed out. Yeah, that's the immediate sign.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like it's initial energy.
Yeah.
Like I said.
Yep.
Energy doesn't lie, and if someone's dysregulated, I know right off when they walk right through the door.
Yeah. Again, I just give you so much credit for just being able to like handle that, and also like not let that impact you, because at the end of the day, like you have a job to do, like you have a service to provide. So it's so important for you to just like be present, keep your nervous system regulated while you're receiving or trying to like, mitigate that kind of energy. If someone could do one thing daily to support their body on like an energetic, emotional, or physical level, what would you recommend?
Again, we spoke about this. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude. Wake up grateful that the fact that you woke up. Just be grateful. I think that I've been also working on my gratitude, right? And how I can be more grateful. And so that really clicked to me when I felt the gratitude of my clients. Like, you helped my back so much. I'm doing the things that I love again, right? And so like that feeling, that exchange of like, wow, I'm grateful for you. I'm like, wow, that's it. That's the key. I do for others, right? And that they're grateful for the things that I do. That helps me be grateful for my life and the things that I can wake up and like, wow, I have a skill and I have an ability to change people's lives.
Yeah.
And so I wake up with that every day. And believe me, there's days where I don't want to show up to the clinic, where I'm like socially I don't want to talk to anyone.
You're drained.
And I'm drained. Yes, I'm human.
Of course,
right? We're human, right?
Yeah.
But I start with that gratitude, and
it shifts the perspective.
And it shifts the perspective.
Totally.
And I'm there and I show up and I'm super intentional and I'm there to make someone's life better.
Yeah.
Period. That's it.
Amen. Period. Amen. So I guess, probably already answered this, but when you're, okay, so yeah, you did answer this. When you're overwhelmed, you just resort to gratitude. But what's something like physical that you do or that you tell your clients to do when they're feeling overwhelmed, if they can't come and get a treatment, if they can't come and get, body work done or go to the sauna or whatever it is? Like, what's something else that you could maybe recommend that's like physical?
Yeah, like I always usually recommend breathing, like breath work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like another sign of a dysregulated nervous system,
Mm-hmm.
a sign of a dysregulated nervous system is you ask someone to take a deep breath,
Mm-hmm.
and the sign is, all right, I'm gonna take a deep breath. And it's like they're
Yeah,
like
and you
up
just
here,
see
like,
it.
have a deep breath, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that wasn't the best deep breath you could do.
Right.
And so I go back to the diaphragmatic coaching and reteaching someone how to use their diaphragm and not to use other muscles to breathe. And so a dysregulated fight or flight response is here, right? And so if we can allow the body to really relax these secondary respiratory muscles and really shift down back to the diaphragm, that clicks into that more healing parasympathetic state for that person.
I think we have to, go ahead.
Yeah, so like breath work is powerful, and I think that's another thing we take for granted, right? We're breathing this air. We're just like, yeah, it's air, it's here, right? But we're not intentional with the way that we're breathing. So that I try to shift that perspective that way through the breath.
Juices the New Tea is brought to you by Cleanse Juices. For more information on 3-day juice cleanses and 4 flavor packs, visit iamcleanse.com. Use code Juices the New Tea for 10% off all orders. Yeah. I feel like, does Recovery Mode offer breathwork classes? I feel like that's something that we gotta get into.
Yeah, so we do. We have a really great coach, Coach Mike. He is a Wim Hof certified breathwork coach,
Awesome.
And so we do breathwork workshops here and there. We do them mostly in the summer, just because cold plunge and everything like that. So we definitely apply the breathwork concepts into how to breathe when you're in the cold plunge, when you're in that cold water and immersing yourself, how to navigate a stressful situation like cold water, and how to breathe through that.
Absolutely, because the way that you breathe when you're getting into a cold plunge 100% impacts your experience in that water.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I remember the first time I did a cold plunge, your instinct is to hold your breath. When you're supposed to, as soon as you get in, you exhale on getting in. And I was also told to keep to have your shoulders immersed in the water, because that also helps. I don't know. That's what the woman told me. She was a breath coach that was leading me through the experience. But yeah, I'm very intrigued more about breath work. We got to talk about that a little bit more. You guys recently started offering acupuncture.
Yes.
I love that. I've been a proponent of acupuncture, been going for acupuncture for 15 years. It has helped me tremendously through so many different things. For someone who's never tried acupuncture, what actually happens during the process on an energetic and physical level?
So acupuncture, so the needle itself.
Yeah,
right?
Let's talk about that. Because that turns so many people off. I'm guys, you don't even feel it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a good practitioner, they are going to guide you and facilitate the needle part. But let's just talk about the needle part, right? The physical part of the needle actually puncturing into your tissue. That stimulates the healing process all by itself, right? Just the fact that you're creating a micro trauma in your tissue, your body's powerful to, your body's recognizes that and starts the physiological healing process. So that's number one. That's off the bat. Energetically, what it does, it calms the nervous system down. So if you have, let's say you have a knot, let's say if it's a tight muscle, right? And there's stored, trapped energy in that, the acupuncture needle will actually reset the nervous system and bring it back to a more healthier baseline. So if you have an overtrained muscle, if you don't, let's say you don't sleep a lot, your body just holds a lot of tension, acupuncture is a great way to modulate your nervous system and reintegrate that optimal baseline for your muscle tissue.
Yeah. Oh, I love acupuncture. I mean, going back to like, you don't feel the needle going in, but I remember on a couple of different occasions, there is like an energetic release that would
Yes.
happen. That would happen like around the needle. Like it didn't hurt. It felt like maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but for me, for somebody who is pretty in tune with my body, I just attribute that to like that tension being released and me actually like feeling that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, think of the acupuncture needle like a little antenna.
Yeah.
Right. And so
Okay.
like if there's
I
a
like
frequency,
it. Yeah.
if there's a negative frequency in your muscle tissue, you puncture that and it basically, the acupuncture needle can broadcast that out. It feels like it can release through the top of that needle.
Yeah.
And so like that's the first time I really had an in-depth session, I had maybe 40 needles in my back.
Woo.
And it was just a complete surrender.
Wow.
And I just felt all that tension just evaporate
Melt.
from my back.
Yeah.
So
Whoa.
it's very intense. It can be intense. It can be scary. But I think that, when you have a practitioner that can guide you and help you understand the why, it just makes it so much more easy.
Yeah. Is there a season in the year or something specific, like rattle off a couple of things that people could use acupuncture for healing?
Yeah, anything from migraines to chronic pain, joint pain. And it really, like I said, it really resets things. So yes, it's great for like acute injuries, but it's amazing for chronic injuries, chronic pain.
Yeah.
Things that, I've had this pain for years. Try acupuncture.
Yeah. I always tell people that. Let's speak a little bit about like, I think something that I hear being in the wellness space, certain injuries or certain physical manifestations of illness don't just happen overnight. So let's talk a little bit about like people's patience when it comes to healing certain things, because things happen gradually over time, right?
Absolutely.
So I don't know, there's something there a little bit more for me, and I love having conversations like that with people that can meet me there, of just like patience in the process of healing, and maybe just anything like you've experienced working with a client close where there was something over a long period of time and maybe just like them feeling frustrated, because sometimes with alternative healing modalities like acupuncture or cupping or anything along those lines, there isn't always like an instant relief, where I feel like some people are just so used to taking a pill.
Right.
And especially now with so many like the GLP-1, and people are just like, they're not wanting to do the work. They're not wanting to be consistent in training. They're not wanting to show up and like be disciplined. They just want a quick fix. And true healing does not come with that. Healing is also not a linear process. Like you might have a really, really good day where you're like, I'm bounced back, whether it's emotionally or physically, or, then you take 10 steps forward and 5 steps back. So I don't know if you have any like thoughts about that, just in like the work that you do.
Yeah, so I think you brought up a great point, right? Healing is not linear, right? You may have good days, you may have bad days, and that can fluctuate over a course of that healing journey.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing that people have to do is take a step back, take a bird's eye view. If you take a step back, yes, you have good days and you have bad days, but if you look at it over the span of time, they are still trending towards the healing. They're trending up, right? And I think that if you have someone look at that perspective, take a step back, take a bird's eye view, smell the flowers, they realize, okay, wow, I am healing. I am getting better.
I think when people are going through it, whether it's like a serious diagnosis like cancer or just like a neck pain, they're so in it that they don't see the small progress that they've made. And I also know for me, like personally, I've experienced with people close to me, they begin to like, you made this point earlier, associating themselves with that injury or with that illness. And even like manifesting that, like giving it personality, giving it like energy. And I feel like I wish people could learn to disassociate a little bit, like separate their pain from who they are, like to their core. And I'm sure you see that so often.
Oh, 100%. I see it all the time. People become their MRI.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, I have herniated discs. I'm a herniated disc person. Like,
they give up.
Yeah. And they give up, and they're, it's sad to say, but people are recommended pills and surgery, as a status quo. And so you have a lot of people that don't want to do surgery. And so they're like, I have herniated discs. They want me to do surgery. I don't want to do surgery. All right. That's it for me.
Yeah. They just throw in the towel.
My gym days are over, right?
Yeah.
And so that's been a main kind of motivation for me is to show people otherwise.
Yeah. Because I think what Western medicine has kind of done, and I talk about this personally with like my friends, is that it just keeps people on the fence of like almost like a slave to medication.
Right.
Not really feeling 100% healed and cured and all the things, but like kind of on this half space where they're just forever now tied to these medications and they're not really living life fully. They're kind of like docile in their energy. They don't feel hopeful. They lack faith. They don't believe in their body. They don't believe in their body's ability to heal. And then yet like they're still, well, I don't want to go pay, $125 for a massage or cold plunge or what's any of that going to do or whatever. So it's so interesting, but I do feel like now with spaces that you've created and just like the immediate access to information through social media, people are like waking up to that a little bit more. And that makes me very happy to see.
Yes, absolutely.
So what's your perspective on, kind of touch on this a little bit too. Keith, you're just jumping ahead over here, kid.
It's natural.
I love it. So in terms of like, have you experienced any of your clients or like your perspective on acupuncture releasing emotional blockages and what that looks like or how that kind of happens?
Yeah. So you can, depending on where this person may be storing that tension, right? Whether it be maybe their hips, maybe their upper traps, right? And once you go in there with a needle, it's energetic, like you said, right? It's a release of energy, and how that person's going to process that is going to show up with whether they cry, whether they laugh, whether they get angry at it, or So the responses are really based on the individual, but it's really interesting to see how emotion is really released from the physical body. And I think more conversations have to happen in the mental health space as well.
Yeah.
Where we can say, hey, maybe the first step in addressing your mental health is to address your physical health. And that can
that's the importance of a holistic approach to healing too.
Right.
As opposed to if you go, typically Western medicine, we just focus on one area. We don't approach the body as a holistic, we don't look at how someone's, neck pain could be the fact that they're super stressed right now or a cancer diagnosis being an emotional thing. Like I think it's safe to say that those spaces are opening up, that people's minds are opening up to that realization.
Yeah. But
we still have like so much work to do in terms of a society and even just like in the US, but that's a whole separate conversation. So in your experience, where do you see the body holding the most tension?
Oh man, for me, I hold a lot of tension in my hips.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I run too. So like just my leg, for me, it's my legs. But I think when I look at the population as a whole, it's a lot of like upper neck, traps.
What do we think about text neck?
Yeah. We're all on tech.
We all got to like open up our shoulders, man. Relax the shoulders.
Open up. So it's a lot of that. And it's a lot of that on the technology, hold intention. Oh my God, I have a deadline. And that you see that stress show up through the postural muscles a lot. So definitely I would say hips, upper traps, top two right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can body work improve performance even for non-athletes?
Body work.
That's such a broad question, right?
Like, but body that's what that body work is so powerful is that like if you move better, you feel better.
Yeah.
If you can move more fluidly, if you could flow through life fluidly, you will have a better life.
Absolutely.
That's it. You know? So
you would agree with this, that you believe that the body stores unprocessed emotion. And how can sports massage or cupping or acupuncture or infrared sauna, because we didn't even touch like the sauna component and cold plunging, because those are two modalities that I mean, if I could do a sauna every day, I'll know I made it in life when I can have one of those infrared saunas in my house.
Right.
Maybe like 3 of them. So I guess, how could specifically like cold plunging help on a physical level or even like emotional?
At the end of the day, all these modalities that we have, right, they're meant to regulate your nervous system. Yes, I'm loosening up your muscles. Yes, I'm giving you more mobility. But at the end of the day, at its root, it's nervous system regulation.
Yeah.
And so if you're 10 out of 10 fight or flight, everything in life is intense. Things are forced, right? And so if we can lower people's nervous systems and allow them to be more regulated, that allows them to navigate their lives with more flow, with more alignment.
Yeah, with just a sense of ease.
Yes, with ease.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're constantly holding on to things, right? If you're constantly stressed, you're holding on to this, you're holding on to this situation. And it's like we need to utilize these modalities and show people that they can let go.
Yeah.
And they could release these stored emotions, stored tension, stored stress in their body.
I mean, like as within, so without, right? Like if you walk around and you're tense and you're negative and you didn't focus on the things to be grateful for, like how do you think the world is going to greet you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're going to like run into somebody, you're going to spill your coffee on yourself. Like all of that's going to happen. I think it's just like important for people to just slow down and, prioritize their well-being a little bit more. What's like the best experience you've seen, like the best emotional breakthrough during a treatment? If you have like a case study that you want to share, because
I always love to see, people that have anxiety or they suffer with depression and they don't believe in themselves and their self-esteem is really low. And if we can show them, hey, you can overcome pain, that triggers something within them. They're like, oh, wow, like I got over something.
Yeah,
I was
did
able.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a warrior in that.
Yeah.
And so that definitely boosts their morale and you just see them become more active. You see them taking care of themselves. They move with intention. They're not anxious. They're not depressed. They believe in themselves again. And so for me, that's such a powerful thing. I always love to see that. And I always love to facilitate the movement aspect and the ability for people to move better, feel better, look better. And that energy just shifts.
Everything.
Yes.
Amen. Now kind of getting into cold plunging a little bit. Do you want to talk about what's happening to the body specifically? Because Recovery Mode offers cold plunge and infrared sauna. You don't have to do it together. It doesn't need to be like a contrast therapy kind of thing. You can go in and just do a cold plunge, or you can just go in and do a sauna, right? But do you want to talk a little bit about like what's happening to the body when someone's doing a cold plunge?
Yeah. So the first thing that happens when you cold plunge is obviously you feel the cold.
Yeah.
It's a stressful situation.
Yeah. And then your body goes numb.
Yes, exactly. So pain, goodbye pain.
Yeah.
You already have that. I think the most powerful thing that a cold plunge does is that it teaches your nervous system that you can deal with a stressful situation.
Yes. QG Floral is a luxury florist in New York with over 50 years of experience. They even provided us a special discount code you can use, the code CLEANBLOOM, for 10% off website orders over $125. So gift yourselves or your loved ones a beautiful arrangement.
That's why a lot of these people, a lot of these athletes, they start their day in a cold plunge. Why? Because it's hard. And so all these athletes, they're starting their day with something hard.
Yes.
And so when you do that and you implement that on your daily practice, the rest of your day becomes easy.
I read that we should, when it comes to cold plunging specifically, or even just like strength training, that you should expose your body to specific types of stress to build your emotional resilience, to get yourself out of fight or flight. You actually put yourself in more controlled experiences of stress, like cold plunging, to, like you said, then implement or kind of just shift the way that you approach the rest of your day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solid.
Yeah. It's nervous system regulation, and that's at the root of these modalities and these things that we do in recovery mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Amen. Any thoughts on the concept of like women should not cold plunge, or specific times on when women shouldn't cold plunge? Because that's a little bit of a controversy that they say that women shouldn't cold plunge because it could impact or hormones. Do you have any thoughts on that?
There are studies out there that show that women don't need as a cold plunge. Like there's studies that show that women don't need freezing temperatures to fulfill the
Not like a
physiological.
32. We don't need a 32.
You don't. Yeah.
Maybe like a 50.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's studies that show that women benefit from more of like a 50 to 55 degree cold plunge versus, a 33 degree cold plunge where it's really intense. So there's definitely literature on that. There's also other research that shows that even pregnant women can cold plunge as well.
They can?
They can.
Whoa.
And so, but again, it's like you don't want to, if you've never cold plunged before, you don't want to start cold plunging
while you're pregnant. Yeah.
If you've practiced it and understand what it does to your body, it can really help with back pain. It can really help with regulating your hormones. And again, when your nervous system's regulated, your hormones are regulated, your metabolism is regulated, your breathing is regulated. Everything is in sync, right? When you can really tap into that nervous system
much
regulation.
Focus on the nervous system in our older age, man. It's like, who would have thought?
It's energetic. That's where we create energy through it, right? That's what emits our aura, right?
Yeah.
And so like
emits the aura.
I love
it.
we suppress, like we're taught to suppress and we're taught to ignore and we're taught to keep this down and not be aligned with it. And I think that's why people get sick.
Totally.
Because they're stressed out. They don't know how to regulate their nervous system and they just walk around life accepting those things. And so, again, my goal is really to have a space where people can address those issues, regulate their nervous system, chill the F out.
Yeah. Well, you've created that. You 100% have created. Even just even if I walk in there when I'm delivering juices and I'm not coming for a treatment, like I just feel the energy there. It's like always so welcoming. It's always just so like, you're going there to learn. You're going there to relax. You're going there to receive. And that, like, what more could you ask for? So I'm so grateful for you to like create that. What about recovery in terms of productivity, right? Because I think so many people associate taking the time to slow down with like not being productive. And we kind of touched on that a little bit, that like I personally believe like rest is receptivity. Like some of my most incredible ideas have come when I've just allowed for myself to like slow down and listen. So if you want to talk a little bit about just like rest in terms of productivity, for yourself, just as like a business owner, or even just like with clients that you've worked with.
Yeah, that's a great point. And being a New Yorker, you already know we are hustlers in New York.
We don't stop.
We have the grind culture, right? And so that's been a journey for me as well, and understanding when I need to take a break, when I need to recharge. And so I think as long as you're in tune with yourself, as long as you understand that there are seasons, there's ebbs and flows, there's a time to grind and there's a time to rest.
Yes.
If you are aligned within yourself, no one's going to have that answer for you but you. You will know. You should know.
Right.
And when things start to collapse and things start to feel all over the place and chaotic, guess what? It's time.
Yeah.
It's time for you to recalibrate. It's time for you to be grounded again.
If you don't make that decision for yourself, then it's like the universe or whatever you believe in, but like will force you to take that time.
100%.
And I started this season talking about the importance of cycle syncing. So aligning your schedule, or just like your personal, professional schedule, however it resonates, with the signs of the zodiac, but like also more importantly, nature. Like nature doesn't bloom all year round. There's no reason why we need to be. Like there's something to be said about like just giving yourself the time, whether it's during the winter. We all have our seasons of go, right? Depending on what you do for work or, what your personal goals are. But I think it's like so important for people to incorporate that and approach their lives. Otherwise, it will just, chaos will just consume them in some degree or another, or they'll get a diagnosis, which then they're forced to slow down, right?
Well said.
Yeah, thanks. What is one recovery habit that every entrepreneur, athlete, non-athlete, regular person should prioritize? If you could just narrow it down to one modality.
That's so hard. Narrow. They all work.
I couldn't
together.
even answer that myself, and I'm like putting it on you.
They all work together. I mean,
true.
if I was just to narrow it down to just taking care of yourself, I think it's just be conscious of the things that you consume, right? Like, just be conscious of what you're putting in your body, what content you're absorbing, the environments that you're around, right? I think just protecting your energy as an entrepreneur, super important. You'll know, like I said, if you're an entrepreneur and you're on your journey and you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're helping people and you're making money at the same time, you have to understand that things that aren't meant for you, you will know when you're aligned. And so you shouldn't force that. You shouldn't force anything. That's number one. Don't force. Let it flow. And it just really, it just comes down to protecting your energy and things that are meant for you. Will show up naturally.
You won't have to force anything. You won't have to go out of your way. You won't even have to get out of character. It will just be like delivered to you.
Correct.
Going back to the point that you made about being mindful of what it is that you consume, I notice for me, like if I'm on my phone and I'm kind of like just letting the reels play or I'm just scrolling, my jaw like tenses up. Like I've noticed that lately. And I'm just like, damn, like I'm not even I thank God I have like a really great, positive, happy news feed, because I know some people like their news feed is brutal. But I notice that like if I'm on my phone sometimes, like I just feel drained.
Right.
Like energetically, like I'm just like my eyes hurt. I mean, I wear my blue blocking glasses, but like still, like we have to be incredibly mindful. I think just now so much of our lives are connected and rooted onto our phones. We don't realize just like how much of that could be contributing to our like, lack of wellness, I think.
Yeah.
So many gems, Keith. My goodness. Over here, kid. I love it. So as we start to like close out our time together, I want to do a little rapid fire for you. Yeah. So for you, Keith, rapid fire, sauna or a cold plunge?
Sauna.
Okay.
Only because
Same.
Only because we consume a lot of toxins. There's a lot of toxins in the air. There's a lot of toxins and microplastics and things that we ingest. So sauna, particularly infrared sauna, dry heat.
Yes.
It's really a deep cleanse. And so we're all about the detox.
Yes.
So we already know.
Yeah, amen.
We're already on that cleanse.
Yeah.
Right? So sauna all day for me.
Yes. Same. I love me a sauna session. Running or weights?
Ooh, you're asking a runner? They both are important, but for me, running is very meditative and balancing. So running has become my go-to safe space. So for me, running.
What's the longest distance you've ran? Did you run a marathon?
Yeah. I've done 3 marathons.
3?
I've done 3. And I'm doing 4.
My
this
goodness.
year I'm doing Chicago in October.
Amazing.
So getting back to it. Shout out to all the runners out there.
Wow. My gosh. Do you reach flow state when you're running?
Oh, 100%. That's why I love it.
At what mile do you reach flow state?
Oh, it varies. It varies how regulated I am. The more regulated I am, the faster it comes. But that's essentially the runner's high.
Yeah.
The runner's high is an effortless state of flow that you're allowing your body to move with the physics of the universe. You're flowing with the planetary
physics of the universe over
planetary
here.
cycles.
My
You're just
goodness.
in line with that momentum.
Totally.
And so when you're moving, when your body is in motion, you are creating energy. You are enhancing your aura.
You are energy.
And I feel like after my run, if I've had a great run, my aura is like 50 feet wide. Like I feel amazing. Like I feel like I can do anything.
You know, it's really tough. Like I'm not gonna lie, I don't like running, but there was a short period in my life where I was running, partially for like High Rocks prep and all of that. And there was a few moments where I was like, whoa, I felt euphoric. Like I felt euphoric. Yeah. I felt like a sober psychedelic experience, especially after I ran like my first, 10K. I was like, whoa, what is that? And I've never experienced that in anything that I had done. So, that the way that you just described that too, I'm like, damn, should I go like run later? Should I at least do like, 2 miles in these?
Yes,
in
no.
These?
We'll go shoe shopping, Yeah. I love that.
I have a good running sneaker. I feel like I'm good. What's one myth about wellness that you want to debunk?
Oh God, what's one myth
Yeah.
of wellness? I think it goes back to your point, right? Like there's no magic pill.
Yeah.
There's no,
you got to do the work.
It's a journey it happens within you. And so like when I'm working with a client and they're like, oh wow, like you fixed me. I'm like, yeah, I set the wheels in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Your body did the work.
Yes.
It had to happen within you.
Yes.
I'm just starting the fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to your body to do it. So I think that a lot of people search for people like myself and my therapist to be fixers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can consider us fixers. I like to call us more facilitators. We are facilitating your healing process. So I think that's one thing that I would probably say to people.
Amen. I love that. All right. Well, Keith, tell the people where they can find you as we close out our time.
So yeah, Recovery Mode Astoria, right on Steinway. We get some Greek food, get souvlaki, and come through. Come through. We're happy to help you if you're active, if you're a runner, you're training for high rocks, you just love to go to the gym. This is a place for you to sustain your wellness and stay active. Yes. So we'd love to see you come by, shoot us a DM on Instagram, and yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Keith. This was an awesome conversation. I really appreciate you. So many gems, so much insight, exactly what I knew you would give. And you really spoke my language. And, I'm just, again, like so grateful for you, the space that you've created. I can't wait to see what's next in store for Recovery Mode. I have a feeling some good things are coming.
Stay tuned.
Yes, I love that. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you everybody for listening. This is Juice is the New Tea. Until then, keep sipping the juice, rest, recover, and share this episode with a friend. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. QG Floral is a luxury florist in New York with over 50 years of experience. They even provided us a special discount code you can use, the code CLEANBLOOM, for 10% off website orders over $125. So gift yourselves or your loved ones a beautiful arrangement. Juice is the New Tea is brought to you by Cleanse Juices. For more information on 3-day juice cleanses and 4 flavor packs, visit iamcleanse.com. Use code JUICEISTheNewTea for 10% off all orders.